Guys, we have two linear equations to solve for over here. So we have equation A and then equation B. So equation A is 1 over 3 minus x plus 1 over 5 equals to x over 3. All right, so let's go for it. So as we have equations like this, we got to find the lowest common denominator, right? In this case, we have 3 and 5, which are two different numbers. So we're going to multiply them together. That'll be 15, and then that will be our lowest common denominator, which is that simple, right? So the lowest common denominator in this case is going to be the multiplication of 3 and 5, the product of those two. That will give us 15. All right? So that is 15. So that means what? That means we're going to multiply the whole equation by 15. But before we do that, there's one more thing that we need to talk about very quickly is having this fraction here that has two terms on the top, we can split it in two, right? So we end up with 1 over 3 minus x over 5 minus 1 over 5 equals to x over 3. All right? So once we split it, don't forget that we have a subtraction sign in front of this whole fraction here. So that means that we change the signs on the top to the opposite. So that means positive x becomes negative x over 5. Positive 1 becomes negative 1 over 5. Okay, very important because a lot of people make this mistake. So let's go for it. So once we get this one, so we multiply the whole equation by 15. So 15 is multiplying 1 over 3 minus 15 is multiplying x over 5. And then minus 15 times 1 over 5 equals to 15 times x over 3. Okay? So once we have that, so what's happening here? So 15 times 1 over 3, 3 goes into 15 5 times. So 5 times 1 is 5 for the first one. 5 goes into 15 3 times x, negative 3x. 5 goes into 15 3 times 1, negative 3. And then equal 3 goes into 15 5 times, so you end up with 5x. Now we got to combine like terms on the sides of the equal sign. So on the left, we have these two to combine together. So that means 5 minus 3, which is positive 2, minus 3x equals to 5x. And then we got to combine like terms again. So negative 3x and positive 5x. The lowest, combining with the largest one, so that means plus 3x, and this is 2 equals to 8x, right? And as we're solving for x, what's happening then? We got to get rid of 8 by dividing both sides by 8 and 8. Then x equals to what? X equals to a quarter because 2 can divide into 2 once, and 2 can divide into 8 4 times. So you end up with x equals to a quarter. And that'll be our final answer for question A over here. Simple as this. All right? So you take your steps. Now, let's go to B. Y plus 5 over 7 equals to 5 over 14 minus y minus 3 over 4. So we got to find the lowest common denominator in this case also. Now we're dealing with 7, 14, and 4. All right? So we can use the lowest common multiple to do this problem, for example. All right? So lowest common multiple says what? So for the lowest common multiple, so we're taking these numbers and then finding the multiples of them and see which one is going to, the smallest one that will be in common for them, right? So that's 14, right? So that's 14. So 14, what's the next, a multiple of 14 is 2 times 14, which is 28. All right? So how about 7? So if you take 7, the next multiple one is what? Is 14. And the next multiple one, 3 by 7, is 21. The next multiple one, that'll be 2, 3, and then 4, that's 28. All right? Okay, so that'll be 4 times 7, which is 28. Now, for 4, the next multiple one is going to be what? It's going to be 8. And then the next one, 12. The next one, 16. The next one, 20. The next one, 24. The next one, 28. So it's like you're adding 4 to each of these numbers. All right? You can do that. And for this one, you're adding 7 to these numbers. And for this one, you're adding 14 to them. So we see that 28 is in common for all three numbers. So that means 28 is going to be your lowest common denominator, or in this case, lowest common multiple. So we take it and multiply the whole equation by that. Now, as we multiply, we got to split up these fractions. So that means we have 28 times, then we're doing y over 7 plus 5 over 7, right? So we can do it right away. We can just, wait, and then do it after the next line. So equals to 5 over 14. So now also over here, we're going to split. Don't forget the sign of the y here is positive and the sign of the 3 is negative. So the subtraction sign, we change them into the opposite. So this one becomes negative y over 4 and then plus 3 over 4. So now we multiply the 28 by each of them, right? So we do the 28 by each of them. So what's basically happening is the same thing that we did before. So that means 7 goes into 20 how many times? 4 times, right? So that gives us 4y. Okay? So 7 goes into 20 how many times? So that's 4 times again. So that's 4 times 5 equals 14 goes into 20 how many times? Twice. So that'll be 2 times 5 minus 4 goes into 20 how many times? 7 times. And that means 7 times y. And then last but not least, 4 goes into 28 7 times. So we're going to do 7 times 3. All right, so no more fractions. And that's the reason why we're doing it. Once you find the lowest common multiple or denominator, you multiply across, and then this is what you get. So we have 4y plus 20 equals to 10 minus 7y plus 21. Now we got to combine like terms, right? So 10 and 21, so we bring down the 4y plus 20 equals to what? 10 plus 21 is going to give us 31 minus 7y. Combining like terms still, 4y and negative 7. This is lower, so we bring it here to combine, so positive 7y, positive 7y. So we end up with 11y plus 20 equals to what? 31, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So we get in there. So now we got to get rid of the 20. So we have negative 20, negative 20. We end up with 11y equals to what is 31 minus 20? Is 11 also. What are we solving for? Y. Let's do not forget about that. So we can always, divide both sides by 11 and 11. Okay? So this has 11 divided by 11 is 1. So y equals to 1 in this case. All right? So this is it, guys, for A and for B, and we are finished. Let's go.